Mila didn't remember every detail of that day, but she remembered the sound before the silence, the rustle of plastic bags, the sigh of the caseworker, the click of her mother's lighter as she turned her back and lit a cigarette instead of saying goodbye. At 6 years old, Mila stood barefoot on the linoleum floor of their tiny apartment, clutching a stuffed rabbit by its threadbare ear. 2 trash bags sat by the door, her entire life reduced to garbage bags. Overstuffed, torn at the seams. One held her clothes. The other had her favorite toys her caseworker said she could keep. She was handed off to strangers. Her mother, young, overwhelmed, high again, stood behind the social worker like a shadow in a doorway. She didn't cry, didn't kneel to hug her, didn't even say her name. "You ready, sweetheart?" the social worker asked softly. Mila nodded because her voice didn't work. Not then. The door clicked shut, and it never opened again. 12 years passed, 12 birthdays, 12 Christmases without calls, without cards. Mila stopped hoping for miracles early on. Foster homes, group homes, caseworkers came and went. But the questions never did. She simply learned how to pack fast and hide pain faster. On her 18th birthday, she did something brave. She wrote a letter. Just one. No demands, no guilt, just a simple offer. "Dear Vivian, I hope this isn't unwanted. I don't mean to intrude. I just wanted you to know I turned 18 today, and I'm okay. I would like to meet you if you'd ever be open to it." She folded it 3 times, wrote the name carefully on the front, and dropped it in the mailbox. 3 weeks later, a letter came back. It was typed, short, cold, final. "Please do not contact me again." Mila cried only once. She stared at the words until they blurred. Then she filed the letter in a shoebox under her bed and moved on. Or tried to. Mila was 26 when Vivian reappeared. By then, Mila had grown into herself, quiet but resilient. She built a life, a career in publishing, a decent apartment with warm lighting and books stacked high. She made peace with being alone. Until one rainy Tuesday. It was an ordinary day. She was in a meeting, reviewing a manuscript, when her receptionist knocked. "There's someone asking for you," her receptionist whispered. "Says she's your mother." Mila blinked. "My mother?" And there she was. Vivian. Her face was older now, framed by brittle, overdyed hair. Same eyes, a bit duller now. She wore a tired coat and held a trembling smile, the ghost from her childhood. "Mila," she breathed, "you're even more beautiful than I imagined." Mila stood frozen. Her voice returned like an old friend she wasn't sure she trusted. "Why are you here?" Vivian looked down. "Because I need to see you." They met again at a cafe the next morning. Vivian talked about rehab, about regret, about getting clean. Her hands shook around her teacup of herbal tea. "I didn't know how to be a mother," she said. "I was barely a person." Mila slowly stirred her coffee, the silence between them louder than ever. Vivian's words had not healed the life she fractured. There was a time Mila believed that just one more day with her mother would heal something in her that had broken the moment Vivian walked out and never looked back. But the moment of reunion was here, and the wound had only deepened. "You could have answered my letter." Vivian winced. "I know, I was afraid." There was a silence between them, heavy, but not impossible. Vivian reached across the table. Mila didn't move. "I just want a second chance." Mila gave a careful nod. "That's not how it works, but we can talk." Vivian smiled, too quickly. Vivian invited her over. The apartment was clean but smelled faintly of bleach. There were photos everywhere, of Riley, a smiling teenager with shiny black hair and perfect teeth. For a moment, Mila allowed herself to believe it. Maybe people really could change. Vivian managed to raise another child after all, didn't she? "Your sister," Vivian said proudly. Mila raised an eyebrow. "Half-sister," Vivian chuckled. You'd like her. She's sweet. They sat. Vivian hesitated, then said it. I'm sick, Mila. Kidney failure. I'm not a match for dialysis. Riley was tested, but she isn't a match. Mila stiffened. Okay. But you are. I know how it sounds, but I didn't come back just for this. I came because I missed you. I love you. Mila stared. Her voice was low. You gave me away, told me to stay away, then you show up because you need something from me. Vivian's smile cracked. Exasperation filled her voice. I've changed. I got clean. I was scared back then. I didn't know how to be a mom. Why now? Mila pushed. Because life is short, and I want to make things right. Mila glanced around. Vivian's eyes darkened. I gave you life. Is it so wrong to ask for a piece of it back? Mila shot to her feet. Apparently not to you. The room grew colder. You gave me life. Yes, Mila said. And then you gave me away. Vivian's mouth tightened. You're being selfish. I'm a stranger to you, and you're a stranger to me. Mila ground out. Vivian waved her hand for Mila to sit back down. I didn't mean that. I'm just scared. The meds mess with me. Mila gripped her purse, impatient to leave. I need time to think. Vivian nodded quickly. Of course, of course. But Mila wasn't sure she'd ever speak to her again. Mila was on the edge of breaking. The world she'd so carefully built was collapsing in on itself, threatening to bury her in the wreckage. As the elevator doors slid open, she stepped out and moved quickly, drawn to the one place that always felt like refuge. The brown door stood ahead, glowing like a beacon in the dim hallway. Mila quickened her pace. She came here when everything inside her threatened to boil over. Grief, rage, confusion, but she'd shared her brightest moments here too. Sarah, her best friend, colleague, and unshakable constant, was waiting on the other side. Loyal, sharp-witted, and fiercely protective, Sarah had a gift for seeing through people and grounding Mila when the world spun too fast. She was Mila's anchor, her compass, her chosen sister. Mila knocked twice and let herself into Sarah's apartment, her arms wrapped around a bottle of wine she didn't really want. Sarah looked up from the couch, her expressive eyes narrowing the second she saw Mila's face. Sit, Sarah said, already moving to pour tea instead. Wine later, talk now. Mila didn't argue. She curled up on the edge of the couch, her coat still on, as if removing it would make her more vulnerable. She showed up again, she said. Vivian, my birth mother. She came to my job. She said she was sorry, that she changed. But then she asked for something. Sarah's eyes sharpened. What did she ask for? A kidney. Sarah blinked. A literal organ? Mila gave a humorless laugh. Apparently I'm a match. Riley isn't. So she showed up out of nowhere, played nice for a week, and dropped that bomb? Pretty much, Sarah sighed, leaning forward. Mila, you don't owe her anything, not a phone call, definitely not a damn kidney. I know, Mila whispered, but her voice trembled. Sarah reached for her hand. You're not selfish for protecting yourself. She gave you up. You owe her nothing. And for the first time in days, Mila let herself believe it. Vivian called and texted over the next week. 2 weeks passed. Mila didn't respond to Vivian's texts. Her tone shifted. First sweet, then guilt-tripping, then bitter. I'm dying, one voicemail said. You'll regret this. Mila blocked the number. She wanted space, not pressure. She needed to breathe. She returned to work. Let life resume. Then one night, her phone buzzed. The call came late. A new number. A name flashed on screen. Riley. Mila hesitated as she recalled the pictures of the pretty teenager plastered all over Vivian's living room wall. She answered cautiously. Hey, is this Mila? This is Riley, Mom's daughter. Your sister. Hi. I wanted to invite you to the get-together this weekend. Mila frowned. What get-together? Oh, she didn't tell you? Must have slipped her mind. Silence. Mila's fingers tightened around her phone. No pressure, Riley added. It was really kind of you to offer the kidney. I offered too, but Mom said, I wouldn't ask that of you. I love you too much. Mila's heart sank. Oh, she said. Riley stammered. Not that she doesn't love you. We only just met you. But Mila wasn't listening. She heard Vivian's voice again. Riley isn't a match, and she was so eager to help. It broke both our hearts. Liar. You wouldn't risk Riley. Only I could be sacrificed. I don't think I can make it to your party, Mila said, her voice like winter. The chill spread to her body. She hung up. Silly little me, to think I could have a family. Mila sat down at her desk and wrote the hardest letter of her life. I'm sorry for your illness, but I will not be donating. I hope you find peace. Attached was a note addressed to Vivian. You gave me life, but you never gave me love. She mailed it without ceremony. A week later, Mila met Sarah at their favorite bookstore cafe. The table was already stacked with paperbacks and too many pastries. You look better, Sarah said, eyeing her cautiously. I feel better, Mila admitted. I mailed the letter. Sarah paused, sipping her latte. Did you say what you needed to? Mila nodded. I didn't yell. I didn't curse. Just facts. And one truth she probably won't admit. Which was? Mila looked her dead in the eye. That she never loved me. Not really. Not the way I needed. Sarah sat back. That took guts. I almost didn't send it. Part of me wanted to wait. Give her another chance. But then I thought of you. And how you've been more of a sister than Riley could ever be. Sarah smiled warmly. Don't make me cry in public. Mila laughed. It felt good. Really good. And for the first time in a long time, she didn't feel like someone who had been discarded. She felt like someone who had chosen herself and finally meant it. Vivian tried calling again. So did Riley. Mila didn't answer. She didn't need to explain. She put her phone on Do Not Disturb. Her silence was her closure. She chose herself. Forgiveness doesn't mean reunion. Kindness doesn't mean sacrifice. And being born doesn't make someone your mother. Mila sat at the edge of the ocean, sketchbook in hand. Dawn rose in pinks and silvers as Mila drew a woman walking away from the sea into sunlight. She turned the page and started something new.